Hey beautiful, how you doing tonight? Welcome to Lucky After Dark. So today we are talking about prison booty bandits. What exactly is a prison booty bandit? Maybe you've heard this term before, maybe you haven't. I think a lot of people maybe have a misconception about prison booty bandits. They think that it's just somebody, you know, that rapes people or just like bullies people or something like that, like just kind of like a terror in the night, like, a penitentiary monster. And there's some truth to that theory, but I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. As you know, I am a bona fide 100% all natural gay boy. I served time in prison, and I have been on this channel talking about my prison diaries, sharing my stories and things like that. I made a video reading about, coming my first encounter with a prison booty bandit, and I saw a lot, that some people had some questions. So I just wanted to come on here and actually just kind of like clarify what a prison booty bandit is. When I first heard this term, I had initially, what it has become today is that it's someone who basically, you know, tries to get with the queens, basically. If you're a gay guy or if you're just a pretty guy and you get locked up, the first people that try to make contact with you, that try to talk to you and become friendly with you, maybe offer you some commissary, like if they notice that you don't have anything in your box. When I first got to prison, obviously I didn't really have any commissary, I didn't have any hygiene. I just had the state stuff that they issue you as soon as you get off, and walk onto the compound. And the first people that tried to become friendly with me and make me feel like, I don't have anything to be afraid of, those typically 9 times out of 10, they were the prison booty bandits. They were the guys that were obviously trying to get friendly with me in order to, hopefully have something happen with me. So this way I would drop to my knees, honey, suck on them just a little bit, pleasure them just a little bit. And then I came to realize that that was the same case wherever it was that I went. When I first got to prison, I had a hard time trying to find a cell that I was comfortable in, because typically you run across, as a gay person, as a homosexual, you typically run across two types of people. People that want nothing to do with you, absolutely nothing to do with you. They just want you to leave them alone and stay away from them. They try to avoid you at all costs. And then the second type, there's only two types of people. The second type, they want to sleep with you. They want to, get friendly with you and, have something pop off between the two of you. And I moved because of this issue that I was having as I was, trying to find a comfortable cell. I not only was being moved from cell to cell to cell, but also from pod to pod. And eventually I was only at one compound for 5 months. And then I was transferred to another compound where I did the rest of my time. And even when I got transferred to that compound, I was in a couple of different pods. And I happened to notice that every time I was moved into a different pod, or when I did move to a different compound, the first people that tried to make contact with me, that tried to speak with me or offer me things, checked, did I need any hygiene? Do I have soups? Or just did I want some cookies, candy? A lot of people, they feel like, people, they leave stuff on your bed, which I will tell you that did happen to me one time, and I was shocked. Somebody actually did leave Snicker bars on my pillow, and I ate them. It's like, I'm kidding. At first I did eat them, but at first I tried to give them back. Like, I was like, who put this here? And I was flipping out and all this stuff. People in the pod was laughing. And then somebody told me, they were like, no, I put it there. And I did kind of know the guy a little bit. Like, I knew him through other queens that were on the compound, and I had heard that he's, friendly with the queens. And he did turn out to be a booty bandit. I never did anything with him, but I ate the Snicker bars, I'll tell you that much, because I love Snickers. And it's different. It's not like how it used to be. In prison, it used to be like somebody would give something to you and they want that exact item back. Like, if you try to give them back a Snickers bar, they'll be like, no, I want the Snicker bars that I gave you. And then obviously, if you can't give it back, then they're trying to take your behind. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that anymore. It's definitely a lot more calmer now that they got Priya. But even still, there's still some craziness that goes on. But I have noticed, so if you're off to prison or you have somebody that's in prison, tell your loved ones, be like, don't talk to the first people that try to talk to you, especially if they're pretty. Like, say you're a woman and you got a boyfriend that's locked up, or your son, or God forbid it's your son. If you're gay and you're getting ready to be off to, the big house, just have little old Lucky in the back of your head and just think to yourself, like, okay, I'm going to make sure not to talk to the first people that try to talk to me, because I know that they're trying to take my behind. And that is, honest to God, my best advice for you. Because every time that I went to a different pod, when I went to a different compound, I did happen to notice that the first people that talked to me were usually the prison booty bandits, They were trying to get friendly with me in order to see what would happen. Now, there were a lot of queens that I did know that they actually took advantage of this knowledge. Like, I tried to stay away from this, obviously. After I started to realize, like, okay, these guys that are initially trying to be friendly with me, they're obviously hoping that something's going to happen between us. And I don't want to send anybody the wrong ideas, because I'm not trying to do that. I would try to keep away from these people. But a lot of homosexuals, sadly, inside of prison are loose. They're very hoish. They get around, honey. They get around, honey. And they do a lot with a lot. Like, they do a lot with a lot of different people. And I had met a lot of different queens in there that they utilized this, especially if they were new to a compound, because it's very hard to get comfortable in a pod or on a new compound if you're a gay person, because a lot of you, like I said, you only have two types of people that want to interact with you: people that want nothing to do with you, or people that want to sleep with you. And the queens typically are threatened by other queens. So if you get onto a compound and you're trying to get yourself situated, it's to your benefit to become familiar, like in your pod, on the compound. That's to your benefit. So how in the world do you do that? They actually would make contact with a lot of the booty bandits, and some of them would give them hand jobs and blow jobs and things like that, and mess around with them a little bit. I was in the cell with a transgender, woman that's as soon as they came on the compound, I had already known who the booty bandits were because of what I was hearing from other people, other queens and stuff. They'd be like, oh, so-and-so, I saw that they were trying to talk to you. Just be careful, because, they're a booty bandit. I'm like, okay. And then when I got in the cell with, this transgender person, I had seen that was their best friend. Like, they was hanging out with this person all the time. They was intentionally trying to become close to this person and kick it with them. They was eating chow with this person and stuff. And then later I had, found out that they were giving this person hand jobs and blow jobs in the stairwell, on the compound. Yeah. So that is today's world of what a booty bandit is. Now, where that term originates from is because back in the day, the booty bandits were the guys that everybody's afraid of. The booty bandits were the guys that actually was taking your behind, snatching your behind by force. Okay, honey? Like, literally trying to get it from you, whether you was willing to give it up or not. Those were booty bandits. And I am unfortunately sad to admit to you that I actually have been with a booty bandit. I was trying to steer clear of them. I am intimidated by this type of person. I don't want nothing to do with this type of person. But there was somebody that I ended up getting close with. For those of y'all that have seen my prison diary videos, y'all might actually recall this. But Boss, the dude that I refer to as Boss, he was like my prison sugar daddy, I guess you could say. I found out through his admission that back in the day, he admits he was a booty bandit. Like, he actually used to take behind from poor, unsuspecting white guys. Yeah, for real. And he did it. I thought it scared me at first. It still scared me even after explained it to me, like why he did this. But I came to understand, okay, I guess why would have done this. But he said it was typically guys that owed him money. Like there's a lot of people in prison that will run up tabs. Like they'll borrow stuff from people, because it's hard to get things. Like if you don't have anybody sending you money in prison, then you can't really get anything. The only way that you can get stuff is if you come up with a hustle of some kind, or if you have like a job in prison, like, in the kitchen or in the tailor shop, or a boulevard cleaner, like, cleaning up the sidewalk and stuff like that, rec yard, cleaner, a pod cleaner, something. There are jobs available, a tutor, like in school. There are jobs available, but they're hard to get. Everybody's trying to get a job, and even when you get a job, they pay very little. Like I was getting $20, 25 to $30 a week, and that was great for me. But even still, it would have been nice to have a little bit more. Those jobs typically pay 30 to $50 a month. Really, it's like $35, $40 a month. The best jobs are in the kitchen. Those are higher paying jobs, like $75 to $100 a month. And then the benefit of having a job like that is you're in contact with a lot of people. You're in contact with all of the administration, because the staff come through to get their meals, and usually you might prepare like a special meal for them to try to get chummy with the staff. And also all the inmates come through the chow hall, obviously, to get some food. So then they hustle things through the kitchen, and that's how they actually, get more stuff. They steal food or spices, or something like that from the kitchen. Then they take it back to the pod and they sell it. Like that, it's a great hustle. So then now you're able to come up from that. Plus also it's one of the better paying jobs. But yeah, so this guy that I was with, he was actually like, he worked in the kitchen, and that was part of his charm, why he was like even with me, is because he was able to provide me with a lot of things and protect me, because he was very scary. But other people, my point in saying all of that stuff about like a job and a hustle and stuff is the average person doesn't have a job, and they don't have somebody on the outside giving them money. So what people will do is run up tabs. It's another popular thing that unfortunately people do, is they'll get friendly with somebody, chummy with somebody, and that person's giving them things. Or they might keep going to the store box person, the person who loans out items in order to get double in return. It's another hustle. They'll do things like they'll make contact with people like that, and then after the bill has gotten to $100, 200, some people ran up tabs of like $1,000. They'll check into the hole, into administrative segregation, and get transferred to a different pod. Usually they try to get transferred to a different compound, and then do the same thing all over again. Well, this person that I was with, boss, he would track down guys that did that and snatch their behind. So he told me that he had did that a couple of times, like to like 3 different guys that I know of, that he actually admitted to doing that. I like grilled him about it. I'm like, well, when was the last time that you had did this? I met him in 2017. He said the last time that he did that was in 2013, and the time before that was like in 2010, and then in 2007 is like when he had did it. He had did it 3 different times. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm actually with a prison booty bandit. But yeah, that's tonight's After Dark, Lucky After Dark, topic that we're going to discuss. If you want to, hear more stories, I have a list of prison diaries, in my description, where I was retyping, my journal that I kept while I was locked up. I'm trying to turn it into a book. I've been working really hard to try to, retype, because I fell way, way, way behind. Like, the last entry that I had wrote was like I started writing my journal June of 2016. And I wrote it up until I was released December 2018. And all while I was sharing it online, I wrote I retyped the entries of June 2016 up until November of 2016, and right now since I've been working on it again, I'm in the middle of December 2016, and I want to break this up into 2 different books, and as soon as I finish the first book, y'all will be the first to know. So yeah, that is my story of what a prison booty bandit is. They are scary people, and just if you don't take away nothing else from this video, is if you ever go to prison, or if you have anybody that you love and you care about that's in prison, make sure they are aware. Do not talk to the first person that speaks to you. The first person that talks to you, 9 times out of 10, there is something shady with them. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, thumbs up, all that jazz. Comment below. Comment below if you've ever been in prison and you've had any experiences like that, or, you know, what your knowledge of prison booty bandits are, you know, like what you had thought they were, something like that. But I would love to hear your feedback. So I love you guys. Have a wonderful night. Be safe. Bye.